Hello friends, it's Barbara Sue at Kowalski Mountain. I am the author of the blog KowalskiMountain.com. Welcome back to our channel. So HuntStand is a hunting app that we use here at Kowalski Mountain. And we have all of our guests download it. And that's because not only is it good for hunters, it's good for anyone who might be spending some time in the woods. Let me show you. So this is HuntStand Pro, and there is a free version of HuntStand which I have used, and that's usually what our guests use. And it has a bunch of features here that you can use, different types of maps. It actually has a lot more features than I actually use. One of the main features we use is the tool feature. So Philip has created a property, the Kentucky property. If you hunt at multiple game leases, you can actually create additional properties on different hunt areas that you hunt at, and you can mark them each separately. Now the tools section is mostly what we use, and for whatever reason it does not zoom in on the property. The property is marked on the map, but it doesn't zone in on it, which honestly is probably one of the negatives of this app. It used to always zone right in, and for whatever reason it does not. Now Philip has marked a lot of different things on here. He's marked stands, he's marked the property boundaries, he's marked the creek, he's marked the trails, game cameras, where he got deer. Lots of information is here on the app. Now, to make it a little less overwhelming, I come down here and I tell it to, I go to the filter and I tell it I want to hide all. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to do only what I want to see. So I only want to see the property boundaries, roads, trails, paths, fence, other, and I'll mark other up here. And I'm also going to mark water. So those are the options that I selected. And now when I go back to the map is a little bit more clean. It's not showing all that information that I don't necessarily want to see. Now the outside edge is obviously the property boundary. The blue is the creek bed that has been marked here in the trail. Now these orange lines are our trail system, and we have about 2 miles of trail system here on our 68 acres. Now paths are pretty easy to mark. You just push the trace button, and while you're on a four-wheeler, you just drive the trails and it marks each one. Now if you do them each one separately into a separate line, then they can be more easily reconfigured if the path changes for some reason. When I zoom in, I can see that I'm the blue dot, and I'm right near a trail, which is right near a creek bed, which is, the creek bed is actually right through there, and I'm right near that creek bed. Now I can zone out and I can see where I am on the big picture of the property. If when I'm in the map I want to go ahead and turn on some of those features again, maybe I want to turn the game cameras back on, I can just turn the game cameras back on just by clicking that one button. Now the one thing about the app is you do need to maintain it. So our game cameras get moved all the time. So when you take a game camera down, theoretically you should take it off the app at the same time, but that's not always a priority when you're out in the field. Maybe I want to switch to where the harvests are. So These are areas that deer have been taken on the property, and they are marked on the map to remember where the good spots are. So one of the things that I've used HuntStand for here at Kowalski Mountain was when I was newer here coming to the property. I had been out walking around. When you're foraging, you tend to spend all of your time looking at the ground. And I came up on a path that I did not expect to find. And I thought maybe I was off property. So I pulled out my HuntStand app. And the app will show my position. Now when I broadened out a little bit, I realized that I was on property still and I was just not where I expected to be. But that's a reason that we have all of our guests who come to Kowalski Mountain who spend any time in the woods to download the HuntStand app, because then they have a map of the property. Now another feature that we have on the HuntStand app is to be able to mark things like a deer feeder. And if I want to add that feeder, I'm going to do the plus sign. I'm going to do marker, and I'm going to choose my location. And then when I save it, it asks me what I want it to be. So it's a stand. I can make a note, feeder. I can label it more specifically, and I can push done and save. And then that feeder is marked on my map. If I want to delete it, I just push more and I push delete, and it's gone again. So another really cool feature that the HuntStand has is it allows you to check your wind. So I'm just going to choose the place that I'm at. I'm going to tap it, and it shows me my wind area. So it shows me that all of this area in front of me is my green zone, which is my hunting zone, and this area right behind me is orange, and that means that's where the deer can scent me. Now this has a really cool feature that allows me to look at the way the wind changes. If I'm going to be sneaking up in the dark and I want to check my area that I'm walking, I can check that as well. Let me show you how it looks. So you can see my stand, I'm the blue dot, and I just click it and I can see my wind zone. So everything that is green is good, means that the deer cannot catch my scent, except for that red zone behind me. Now this is the speed chart, and it allows me to check in the future to see how the wind is going to change. So you see how it's changing in the zone, and later this evening the red zone will be more in front of me, and that yellow zone is changing. So this is a cool feature that allows you to check to see how the wind is changing as you're going to be moving around your property. Now another cool feature that we use frequently on the property is the friend finder. Now the friend finder allows me to see where my friends are in my area. When you're hunting, it's really important to communicate well and know where your family and friends are at. And the friend finder helps us. Now it's not a live update. You have to turn it on, obviously, and it's one of those things I keep shut off when we're not hunting. No one needs to know my location when I'm not out here in the woods. But for safety's sake, we turn it on when we're hunting, and as long as I have checked into the app, it will show my last known location. When we're hunting, we always open our app when we get to our location to mark it so that anyone else will know where we are. And then all the rest of us can kind of have a feel of where each other's at. Let me show you how it looks. So this is me on the blue dot, and I'm here on a trail out in the woods. When I broaden out my map, I can see that Philip is over in the field. And that's how I know where his last known location was. Now, like I said, it doesn't follow you, but you will know the last known location of your friend. Now, we've also used these HuntStand maps when we're tracking. My very first deer that I shot, we tracked it some distance, like 8 hours. And my HuntStand map actually recorded some of the tracking line. You can see that yellow squiggly. Now, we didn't have the tracking on the entire time because it uses quite a bit of battery. But where it really came in handy is when we began tracking the deer off property. We got permission from our neighbors to go onto their property, and we used the map to get a feel for the land. We'd never been on their property, and we were wandering all over the woods. At one point, Philip and I separated. We did see the deer, and unfortunately, it was still on foot. And so, because we had Roxy with us, Philip went ahead alone, and the HuntStand app allowed me to track him by using the friend finder so I could see where he was in the woods, and it also let him know where I was. Now, when I realized that my phone was going dead after so many hours of tracking, I went ahead and took a good look at the map. I was off property. I was in an area I had never been before, and I was by myself. So I needed to know how to get home, and I did that with HuntStand Pro. I pulled up the map. I figured out how I would get home if my phone ran out of power, and I committed it to memory. Now, we decided to call the hunt, and we went in, and I didn't have to do that. But the HuntStand app allowed me to figure out my route so that I could get home safely, even if my phone died. Now, the HuntStand Pro app also has your weather on it. Gives me the forecast and the wind for today, exactly where I'm at. And it also gives me a forecast. 3-day forecast and 5-day charts. The charts allow me to see the temperature as it changes throughout the day. And I have all that in a single app right here on my phone. HuntStand also tells me about my moon. It gives me my sunrise and sunset times, which shows me where my golden hour might be. It also gives me the minor and majors for morning and evening, what is considered peak game activity time. And all of that's right here in the app. Another feature that I've read about with the HuntStand app that we have not used is you can use your camera footage from your game cameras and kind of track those together. Now, I haven't tried it, but it's definitely a feature to check out. Well, friends, the HuntStand Pro app is an app that we use here at Kowalski Mountain because it gives us some great features for the hunters who come and hunt with us at our property. Number one, it allows us to map our property accurately with trails, game cameras, stands, even signs of game. You can mark scat and bedding areas as much as you want to. Number two, the friend finder feature is amazing. We like being able to keep track of our hunters when they're on our property to avoid accidents here at the homestead. Number three, it has the wind feature, which is a really great feature. It allows you to check your wind, and also as that wind progresses while you're hunting, so you can plan to see what the wind's going to be like as you're sneaking up to your stand and making sure that you don't give away your position to the deer. And then number four, it's great to have the weather and the sunset and all of those features right in one spot where we can locate that information. Number five, the maps are updated. They show the updates and changes that we've made here at Kowalski Mountain. Our barn and buildings that we've built are visible on the farm, and we like having up-to-date maps. Friends, HuntStand Pro is an app that we recommend to all of our friends who come and hunt with us on the property, as it's a great mapping system and allows us to hunt safely with a group here on the property. I hope you've enjoyed this video and review. We appreciate you watching us here at Kowalski Mountain. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that button and help our channel grow to 1,000 subscribers. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and happy hunting. Hey friends, it's Barbara Sue. I am the author. I just walked on a spider web. Very nice. Take two. Now HuntStand has a bunch of cool features. Walking in the real woods to film has its challenges.